Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen. Today was an historic day, you could say. 86th Annual Academy Award nominations were announced this morning, and I have the list here. Actually, I've got it starting on top. We're going to start on the bottom here. My initial impressions for who was nominated, who's in. Not too bad. Not too bad. There are a couple of surprises. More of them good than bad. I will say easily. The good surprises outweigh the bad surprises this year for who's in. For who's out, who I'm glad is out, I'm afraid not a whole lot. For who I'm glad is, who I'm not glad is out, the glaring omissions here, or snubs you call them, there's a few. So we'll get to them here. We're going to start with... let's see. I've got to get my papers all rearranged here. We're going to start with visual effects, and the 5 nominated films: Gravity, The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, Iron Man 3, The Lone Ranger, and Star Trek Into Darkness. I couldn't get through The Lone Ranger. I'll just tell you that right now. But the visual effects that I saw, no doubt, they were pretty good. A lot of people, including myself, had actually put Pacific Rim on the list, and I also put World War Z on there for my final prediction, so I got 3 out of 5 there. The other 3 I had listed here, but Star Trek Into Darkness I'm actually really glad is here. It was actually one of the better films of the year. It's not in my top 10 list, it's actually pretty far from my top 10 list, but I think it's in my top 20, somewhere in there, probably closer to bottom of top 20, But yeah, great film, no doubt. Gravity is going to win this award like it's nobody else's business, though. Unfortunately, that's going to be true for Gravity for a lot of categories. Which I got to honestly tell you, I love Gravity, and on its own... Okay, this is going to be a little hard to explain. On its own, Gravity is a great film, and I'm never going to regard it as anything less than that. But when I view it in terms of the Academy... In terms of this Academy Awards this year, Gravity sucked. I mean, let's just face it. Let me get back here. The Best Picture nominees, only Gravity and 2 other films were not on my top 10 list. So that's so if you do the math there, that's 6 out of the 9 nominees were on my top 10 list, which for me is a personal best. Last year I think it was 5. Half of my films on my top 10 list last year were not major contenders or were left off the list. This year it's pretty same, but 2 of those nominees are very, very close to my top 10 list. Well, actually, one of them is like probably number 11 on my probably top 20 list, and the other 2 are in my top 15. Don't get me wrong, but between the 9, Gravity is my least favorite, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, in regards to the other films, in my opinion, of the Academy Awards this year, in its own department, in its own viewing and criticism of film, it sucks. And I'm not going to be very happy if it wins Best Picture. If it goes on to win Best Picture this year, I'm going to be sending some hate letters to the Academy. I can tell you that right now. Compared to the other films, just no. I mean, still, yeah, the visual effects and the technical credits here. Still, in terms of Academy Awards, it's deserving of it, and I am going to predict it, and I am going to say it's some of the best work of the year. But I just gotta say, and as far as the rest of it goes, there's a lot of better films on here that I think could win some awards here, and they won't, and I think it's a shame. Okay, then we're going to move on to Best Makeup Hairstyling. We have Dallas Buyers Club, Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa, and The Lone Ranger. I gotta say, why is American Hustle not on this list? I mean, look at the... seriously, look at the freaking title of this category. Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Now, American Gravity, wow, that's a nice picture. American Hustle, yeah, maybe its makeup was non-existent. Who knows? I think... Well, hang on, was Christian Bale... I don't know this offhand. Christian Bale in the movie, by the way, this might be a slow spoiler, is like, he's like out to here. His stomach is like, I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's like out to here. I don't know if you can see it better there or not. But it's like, he looks like a 250-pound man. I don't know if that was prosthetics or him. If it was prosthetics, no question. The Lone Ranger, yeah, you put on a little war paint, and I didn't get, there was nothing that really truly looked, maybe there were a couple of like, like a little, a few little things here and there that, like gunshot wounds and stuff that looked actually more CGI than actual makeup. So I'm disappointed in this category with the inclusion of Lone Ranger. Dallas Buyers Club is a little bit of a surprise. I did not list it. I listed Jackass as one of the three, and then I listed Great Gatsby and American Hustle as the other three, so I only got 1 out of 3 in this category for my predictions list. My final predictions list, by the way, which I haven't shared with anybody yet except my blog site, which I'm not gonna go into an hour and 50-minute video to list all my predictions that I made actually last night before the announcements, and say this is how it compared to the video I did in November, which was actually not horribly far off in a lot of categories. So yeah. But I think this one, they're either going to have to give it to Jackass or to Dallas Buyers Club. I think since Dallas Buyers Club is the Best Picture nominee, the candidate here, I think they're going to give it to Dallas Buyers Club. But yeah, there's no doubt Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa. The effects on Johnny Knoxville were worth mentioning, yeah. Okay, film editing. 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, and Gravity. I got 4 out of 5 here. I put in Wolf of Wall Street to be nominated for film editing. Didn't quite get in. But I did say that I thought Dallas Buyers Club had some of the best film editing of the year. I think it was better at film editing than which one? I think these were all 5. Nope, I had to have knocked one of them off. Probably American Hustle was the one I knocked off. That's right. Yeah. For my personal preference for the best edited films of the year, it's these 5 minus American Hustle, and throw in The Wolf of Wall Street, and those are my 5 top edited films of the year in my personal preference. But this is about as good as it gets. Because Dallas Buyers Club truly, I think, was some unappreciated technical work that was appreciated here with makeup and with film editing, and it did get some respect later in the bigger categories, which I'm always happy for it. But this one, I'm gonna have to give to 12 Years a Slave, which, by the way, I think I'm gonna upload this video first, but I've got like 7 or 8 reviews that I'm gonna do. Actually in the next few days, so you're not going to know what hit you if you follow my channel. I've got plenty of videos coming. Alright, we're going to move on to costume design. 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, The Grandmaster, The Great Gatsby, and The Invisible Woman. I got, I think, all except for The Grandmaster, and I threw in... Who was it I threw in? I must have thrown in... I didn't throw in Gravity, that's for sure. Yeah, the Gravity, best costume design. 2 spacesuits. Well done. God, for the life of me, I can't remember who I put in there. Oh, it was Saving Mr. Banks, that's right. The film that the Academy hated. Anyways, I think... Otherwise, yeah, I got 4 out of 5. The Grandmaster is a film that I have heard about in about 4 or 5 things. Wasn't it... oh, that's right. Whatever. I was trying to think if it was nominated for anything else, because I know it's nominated for... Yeah, and I look here, it's cinematography. Yeah, I have no idea what that movie's about. So, let's just go with... I think they're going to give this one to American Hustle for costume design. But overall, I think some quality names here on the list. Production design... 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, Gravity, The Great Gatsby, and Her. Obviously, if there's one inclusion here that I am greatly appreciative of, it's Her. I haven't done the review yet, but Her, I thought, was a film that, up until its last 5 or 10 minutes, was aesthetically perfect. The screenplay, in about 5 or 6 places, almost had me in tears. The movie Her, we're talking about here. But the last 5, 10 minutes, whatever, we'll get to it in the review, but we'll anyways. But I have to say, production design, I am so glad it's in, because it's definitely deserving of that. And The Great Gatsby, yes, is deserving. American Hustle, yes. 12 Years a Slave, yes. Even Gravity, yes. It's this year's Life of Pi, you know, the way that the visual effects background and all that gets thrown in there for production design. But also, in Life of Pi was also the exoticness of India, and but all the green screen stuff that they throw in, the computer generated ocean and sky, and part of that is the cinematography. But with Gravity, it's the same deal. The way Earth and all these the space stations and stuff, it's wonderful work. And I'm thinking Gravity could sneak up and win this category, but this one's going to have to go to 12 Years a Slave. But it's going to be close. We'll get to sound editing. Sound editing nominees are All Is Lost, Captain Phillips, Gravity, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, and Lone Survivor. I have not seen Lone Survivor or All Is Lost, but the other three films I have seen, and yeah, let's not beat around the bush. Gravity's sound editing and just the whole sound in general was top notch. So yeah. That's going to be my pick there, and I'm not too flabbergasted by the presence of any other film here. I think The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug is probably the best fit in for either Iron Man 3 or Pacific Rim, which were other favorites. So yeah, that's that one. For sound mixing, Captain Phillips, Gravity, The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, Inside Llewyn Davis, and Lone Survivor. I think I got 3 of these. Who else did I throw in? I think I threw in 12 Years a Slave, maybe. And I think I threw in another one. I can't remember what it was. No, I did put in Lone Survivor. I got 4. That's right. Just The Hobbit kind of surprised with its 2 nominations being in both sound categories. Yeah, same story. Gravity. Best Original Score. Okay. John Williams, The Book Thief. I gotta say, that was my favorite score of the year. Stephen Price, Gravity. William Butler and Owen Pallett for Her. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Alexander Desplat for Philomena. An early call that I said in November and then regretfully later on said, well, that'll never make it. It's here. It's here. I have a little extrasensory projection there. And Saving Mr. Banks, Thomas Newman. So in November, I predicted that 4 of these 5 were going to be on the list. And last night when I made my final predictions, I only had 3 on here. Let's see. I believe I put in All Is Lost to be nominated here, and it wasn't. And I believe I put in, oh, what was it? I think it might have been Captain Phillips, which had a great score as well. Nah, it was 12 Years a Slave, that's right. But I will say, in respect to 12 Years a Slave, its score was pretty monotonous and pretty Danny Elfman Real Steel-ish. If you look back at the movie Real Steel, you'll notice the music by Danny Elfman is so by the numbers, you know. The same way for 12 Years a Slave. Don't get me wrong, Hans Zimmer is a great composer and Danny Elfman's a great composer, but it's just they kind of just eased on the scores a little bit on those films. So, but the 5 scores, wow. Wow. Any other year, any one of these scores would easily be a front runner. Especially, I would say, Thomas Newman, Alexander Desplat, and John Williams. But it's going to come down to Stephen Price and probably Thomas Newman on this one. And John Williams, sadly, is going to be left out in the dust. Great scorer. I've always loved John Williams. Johnny, you're my boy. But Gravity is going to win this one. Original song, Alone Yet Not Alone, from the movie Alone Yet Not Alone, also known as the one movie this year I have not seen, aside from the ones I've already listed. Happy from Despicable Me 2, Let It Go from Frozen, The Moon Song from Her, and Ordinary Love from Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. Let's just say I've heard 3 songs here, and I predicted 3 of them. I did predict Ordinary Love would get in. I predicted Moon Song. I predicted Let It Go. I threw in the one from Short Term 12, because everybody, a lot of, well, not everybody, a lot of people were listing it, and I threw in one from The Butler, I think, and The Butler got totally shut out. So, anyways, I heard the song "Happy" from Despicable Me 2 on the radio actually a couple of days ago, and it's a catchy little tune. I mean, I'm not, if I can share a little piece of personal information with you, I am not a, when it comes to music, I like to listen to my own music, and not my own as in the one I write, no, my own favorite music, like that I have on my iPhone. I'm a Bee Gees guy, what can I say? I love to rock out some Bee Gees when I'm driving around, or more recently when I'm driving to theaters and cinemas and AMC's back and forth. So yeah, Alone Yet Not Alone, you've lost me there. I have no idea. Let It Go, I did hear again on the radio. And yeah, I will not be surprised and I will not be disappointed if Let Me Go wins. Or Let It Go. And the Moon Song from her, it's another good one. It's a good one, yeah. So I got 3 for 5 on that one. Alright, we're moving on now to animated feature. The Croods, Despicable Me 2, Ernest and Celestine, Frozen, and The Wind Rises. I got all 5 of these. I've only seen, actually, no wait, I haven't seen Despicable Me 2. I haven't seen any of these, so I don't know personal preference, but Frozen is the one. Frozen is the one that everybody's talking about. Okay, now we get into the top 8 categories. Now this is where I take a little bit more personally to heart a lot of these selections, so this is where you're going to see me really happy or really upset. And upset as in angry. I'm not going to burst into tears in front of you guys. I don't think. Writing adapted screenplay. We have 12 Years a Slave, Before Midnight, Captain Phillips, Philomena, Wolf of Wall Street. I predicted all 5 of these. Going into this, I think I got I got 4 of the 5 from November. I put in August Osage County, which I think was an alternative for a lot of people. But my favorite of these screenplays, though, is Wolf of Wall Street. Oh my God. If you watch that movie and you don't laugh at just the way the dialogue has been planned out, you have no soul. I'll say I loved Wolf of Wall Street. So when I do the review, I'll probably be in stitches and have to cut it out because just remembering that movie right now is just putting a huge smile on my face. That is a hilarious movie. We'll get to that later. Okay, but yeah, I think 12 Years a Slave is going to win the category, though, respectfully, and it's no doubt, a great screenplay and a great film. Writing original screenplay: American Hustle, Blue Jasmine, Dallas Buyers Club, Her, and Nebraska. Outside of Inside Llewyn Davis, I got 4 of these 5. I did not quite expect Dallas Buyers Club to get in. That being said, yes! I am excited for Dallas Buyers Club getting in. I did think that a lot of the dialogue, written by Craig Borton and Melissa Wallach, who wrote the screenplay, was just ingenious. Just absolutely ingenious. I shared the one line in the Dallas Buyers Club review. You know, he's like, I need these drugs. And she says, they're not approved by the FDA. And he says, screw the FDA. I'm going to be DOA pretty soon. It was something like that. And I just absolutely loved that line. It had me smiling from ear to ear for a good 5 minutes. I also love the scripts from Her, Nebraska, and American Hustle. I have not seen Blue Jasmine, but it's Woody Allen, so of course it's going to be great. I think actually that's out on DVD, isn't it? I think I'll probably rent it on Redbox this weekend, and I won't do a personal review of it, but I'll definitely come back later on and share my opinions on it before the Oscars on March 2nd. Now, predicting a winner here is troublesome. It's very, very troublesome. You have to look at a lot of things here. First of all, Blue Jasmine, I think, is the weakest link here, but it's the weakest link by a short hair. We're really looking at 5 extraordinary scripts here. Original screenplay was uber-packed this year. Let's not forget the screenplays for Rush, which didn't get any nominations. Let's not forget the screenplay from... I'm looking through the rest of the categories here and see if there's anything else. left out here that I can think off the top of my head, except for, you know, Saving Mr. Banks, which had a great screenplay, but I knew it wasn't going to be a major contender. Oh, what was the name? The one, I haven't seen it, but everybody's Fruitville Station. A lot of people were praising that. Inside Llewyn Davis, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of screenplays out there that were original. Prisoners, that's another one I love. Side Effects, yeah. There was no way they could fill out this category without, you know, with everybody happy. There was no way they could have done it. I wouldn't, personally, I would not have been happy if Inside Llewyn Davis were nominated in favor of Dallas Buyers Club, because I think in the end, I have not seen Inside Llewyn Davis, by the way, but I think in retrospect it'll probably be a smart choice. But then again, I have not seen it, so that's kind of, yeah, I could be wrong on that. Oh, this is a hard one. There's a couple of categories here that you have to be an astrophysicist who expertises in movie selection to get this right. Oh God. American Hustle is a very strong Best Picture contender. Dallas Buyers Club is now a little bit more of an outside shot, but still potential Best Picture winner. But I doubt it's going to get there. Her. Spike Jonze recently has, you know, he won at the Golden Globes, he won at Critics' Choice tonight, actually. So yeah, he's got a lot of steam going for him right now. And Nebraska, Bob Nelson, it's his first screenplay. I think Blue Jasmine, Nebraska, and Dallas Buyers Club are the ones that we need to put aside. And it's going to come down to Her and American Hustle. And between the two, I think David O. Russell, who's been nominated twice for Best Director in the last, what would it be, 3 or 4 years, who was nominated for his screenplays all those years and has still not won yet. I think they're going to have to reward him in one way or another, whether they give American Hustle in the end Best Picture. Okay, here's how it's going to work. If Her, Nebraska, Blue Jasmine, or Dallas Buyers Club, any 4 of them win Original Screenplay, then we know that the Academy is making room for American Hustle to go on and win Best Director and Best Picture. That's what I'm saying right now. 4 or 5 weeks down the road, that could be 100% different. And we know that if American Hustle wins Original Screenplay, then it's not going to be in for Best Picture or Best Director. That's the way we got to look at it. So, in that case, right now I'm going to say American Hustle is the winner here. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one there. Supporting Actress. Okay, we've got our 5 nominees are Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine, Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle, Lupita Nyong'o, I think that's Nyong'o or Nyong'o, yeah, whatever. Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave. Julia Roberts for August Osage County, or Osage, I think it's Osage, really. And June Squibb for Nebraska. Okay. I have not seen 2 of these. I have not seen Blue Jasmine or August Osage County. I think did I predict all 5 of these? I think I did. No, I did. Nope, never mind. I got 4 of the 5. I did predict Sally Hawkins would get in. I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. And I decided they were going to go with Oprah over Julia Roberts, but they chose Julia Roberts in the end. So I got 4 out of these 5. June Squibb should win, won't win. It's going to come down to Jennifer Lawrence and Lupita Nyong'o. And between the 2, what I'm thinking right now is that they're not going to give American Hustle Best Picture, but they're so if you'll forgive me, they've got such a hard-on for the film, they've got to give it as much as they can with respectful intent. In other words, they're going to give it costume design, they're going to give it original screenplay. Am I missing anything else here? Let me take another look. I don't think am I missing something really obvious here that they... Nope. It's going to win those 3. I said 3, right? Yeah. Those 3. I gotta look through my list again. 1, 2. It's gonna win those. It's gonna win those 2 for sure. As the race stands right now, I think in the end they're gonna go with Jennifer Lawrence over Lupita. But I will not be too surprised if Lupita wins for 12 Years a Slave. Best Supporting Actor. We've got Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Bradley Cooper, American Hustle, Michael Fassbender, 12 Years a Slave, Jonah Hill, The Wolf of Wall Street, and Jared Leto, Dallas Buyers Club. Okay, I got 4 out of the 5. I thought they would put in Daniel Bruhl for Rush, and Rush got a goose egg for number of nominations, totally shut out. Unfortunate. It's, was it number 5, or wait, is it number 6? Yeah, it's number 6 on my top 10 list, so, yeah. Boy, I think this one is seemingly obvious. Jared Leto. But I have to take another look at Michael Fassbender, and I have to do a double take to figure out if in the end they might just go with Michael Fassbender. But Jared Leto has been winning everything, the Golden Globe, Critics' Choice. He's probably going to win the SAG Awards Sunday night. If they give it to Michael Fassbender, then it's an uh-oh. Or it could be just a whoopsie, and then we see Dallas Buyers Club win in the end. But seriously, in my opinion, and I think I'm not alone here, Leto is the clear winner here. And he's clearly the most deserving of it. I mean, we're looking at a guy who wasn't in a film for 6 years, had quit acting, was a relatively, to the common person, totally unknown. To me, even to me, who's a huge movie buff, he was unknown to me. This is his award to lose. I really don't think that, despite Michael Fassbender's terrific performance, energy-filled, spit and fire in a villain way, despite that, Jared Leto is the winner here. But in the next coming weeks, Fassbender could sneak back in, and I know he was really, really high among the lists there for a couple of months. Just after 12 Years a Slave premiered, everybody was talking about Fassbender. I think it's going to be Leto. All right, Best Actress, Amy Adams, American Hustle, Cate Blanchett, Blue Jasmine, Sandra Bullock for Gravity, Judi Dench, Philomena, and Meryl Streep, August, Osage County. Academy, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Where the hell is Emma Thompson for Saving Mr. Banks? The freaking greatest. God damn, I don't know what happened here. I really don't. The Academy must have really hated Saving Mr. Banks, because even though Thomas Newman got nominated for original score, it's probably just because he's Thomas freaking Newman. Because really, though, I mean, I think I read somewhere his 12th nomination. I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate. But he hasn't won yet. And he's not going to win for Saving Mr. Banks, I'll tell you that. I'm glad Amy Adams is in. I'm glad Judi Dench is in. I've not seen August Osage County, so I'm not, I'm indecisive on that one, but since it's Meryl freaking Streep, and it's her 18th nomination, I think it's a coin toss between whether or not Sandra Bullock or Meryl Streep is the one that we should have voted off the island in favor of Emma Thompson. That being said, Blue Jasmine, Cate Blanchett, which I've not seen, is the winner. Everybody knows right now. Everybody knew last year Daniel Day-Lewis was going to win the Academy Award before the first trailer of Lincoln was released. Everybody knew Daniel Day-Lewis was a surefire lock for at least a nomination and a potential win for Lincoln. Everybody knows right now, who knows and follows the Oscar race, that Cate Blanchett is the one to beat here, and nobody is going to come close, from what I've heard. From what I've seen about the film, the film's plot, the pictures I've seen, just from the award circuits, it does look like her character is one that that goes through quite a bit of hell. So I just got to say it. It is a fascinating performance, I'm sure, just from appearance-wise. But yeah, I'm glad Amy Adams didn't get stepped over for American Hustle. I think Streep. I think, okay, in all respect, we're talking about Meryl Streep here. 18 nominations is great. And for her, one nomination here is par for the course. But it'll just depend, because, like I said, in retrospect of the Academy and its own critical perception for me, Sandra Bullock should not even be considered for Best Actress. No doubt she fulfilled her role greatly. And no doubt she did do a very excellent job in a couple of scenes in the movie that really showed her humanity. But it's just shouldn't be on here. I don't know what it's doing on here. Emma Thompson, no question about it. No question about it. Should be on this damn list, but she's not. And that it's pissing me off more and more every minute. It's almost to the point where I think it's the biggest snub of the year. I think there's two generally very, very clear snubs here. And we're going to get to the other one here in just a moment. Best Actor. Here we go. Christian Bale, American Hustle. Bruce Dern, Nebraska. Leonardo DiCaprio, The Wolf of Wall Street. Chiwetel Ejiofor for 12 Years a Slave. And Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club. Where's Tom Hanks? Seriously, where's Tom Hanks? Where's Robert Redford? Both of those I actually put in for the 5, and I kicked out Bale and I kicked out DiCaprio for those others. Really though, I don't understand how you can kick out Tom Hanks. I really don't. I mean, you look at Captain Phillips in those last 10 minutes when he has that breakdown, and how can you not be impressed? Even though the rest of the movie, it's a standard role for Tom Hanks, he's Tom Hanks. He adds gravitas to it. He adds gravitas to it. And yeah, in that last act, that whole third act, you can't take your eyes off him. And no question, Barkhad Abdi, the person who was nominated for Captain Phillips, did a great job. First acting performance, blew a lot of people's socks off. For me, I gotta say, Abdi, yeah, he's earned a spot here, but I would not, if I were picking the awards, I would probably not put him in. He impressed me, no doubt, but I can think of probably 4 or 5 other actors who impressed me more this year. So just the fact that a one-time actor in a supporting role stepped over his star, who has been nominated 5 times, won twice in consecutive years, is astounding. It's absolutely astounding. And I really, despite the good performance from Abdi, I really don't think that his was the performance of the film, you know. Because when we're looking here, when a film is nominated for only one performance, that signifies that they were the performance in the film that stood out for them most. That's the case for Philomena, that's the case for Gravity, that's the case for Captain Phillips. I just gotta say it. No. Barkhad Abdi is not the performance of Captain Phillips. That is Tom Hanks. No doubt, they're both fantastic. And in my perfect world, I would have put Tom Hanks in Best Actor, and Abdi would be, if we had 6 spots, he would be in. But he's not, but we can't fit him in. I would throw in Tom Hanks for Saving Mr. Banks before I would throw in Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips. I would throw in potentially Steve Coogan for Philomena before I could throw in Barkhad Abdi. And a lot of these are more recent. Maybe if I rewatch Captain Phillips, I'll be 100% different. And I am going to rewatch it, by the way. It's coming out on DVD here in a couple of weeks, so I'll be sure to catch it again. But, alright. So otherwise, in Best Actor, I did predict Nebraska for Bruce Dern. I did predict Chiwetel Ejiofor 12 Years, and I did predict Matthew McConaughey, Dallas Buyers. DiCaprio, I was on the fence about, and it literally was a coin toss between him or Redford. And I said, well, Redford's got a lot going for him. He did miss out on SAG, but that being said, there's a lot of actors who have missed out on SAG who you know, have ended up being nominated and sometimes won. What was the case? I can't remember what the case was, but I think there's a small handful of actors who have done that. And I knew that from the SAG Awards that Forrest Whitaker was not going to be on the list, so I wasn't too surprised that a lot of people were putting Redford off. But I thought at the last minute, I said, because I was thinking All Is Lost would also get nominated for original score too, and for sound mixing. So I said, okay, so those three, they're going to want 4, and they didn't go for it. They went with 1. So that being said, DiCaprio, I'm actually very glad is on the list. Seeing him in The Wolf of Wall Street, yeah, it's one of his better performances, no doubt. I think still his best performance is The Departed, but we're talking another Scorsese movie, so either way, it's all good. Christian Bale is the standout Why Are You Here, unfortunately. Don't hate me. Don't hate me, because let me preface what I'm going to say with this. Christian Bale was effing amazing in American Hustle, and he is, and I do say this in general for the Academy Awards, there is no nomination that is not justified. There is no nomination that is unworthy. Not one. Not one. So Christian Bale being on is worthy, it's justified, it makes sense. But in what world that we live in does Tom Hanks get upped by Christian Bale? In what world? In what world? Christian Bale impressed me in American Hustle. But it was a fairly similar role to that of his character in The Fighter, for which he won the Academy Award, respectfully. Tom Hanks has given a number of illustrious different performances. Now, sure, Castaway was solely about him, and he was kind of away from society. Captain Phillips, in a way, is also like that. That's a totally different performance, though. And Tom Hanks's 5 Oscar-nominated performances are all widely different. Okay, let's take a look at his 5 nominated performances. We've got a boy inside a man's body. We've got a person who has contracted AIDS and has lost his job because of it. A man with a low IQ, but who lives through American history, through the 60s, 70s, as if everything around him is normal. A very, very broiled, tough commander in World War II, and a man who is stuck on an island for 4 years with the company of only a volleyball. Those are 5 totally different performances. And we look at this year, a man who is a media and movie mogul, who is also one of the most famous and respected movie people, heads, whatever, who is trying to get the rights sold and a movie made around a popular book, and a captain of a cargo ship that is going around Somalia and is hijacked by pirates, and then he is taken captive by said pirates. Tom Hanks can do no wrong. Tom Hanks can never pick a role and give a performance that is vastly, vastly similar to another, at least in respect of which ones he's up for Academy Awards attention-wise. Now, sure, look at his comedies in the 80s, no doubt. The guy from The Money Pit is almost practically the exact same guy from Bachelor Party. The Burbs, his character in The Burbs is almost verbatim the character he plays in The Money Pit and Bachelor Party, and probably Turner and Hooch too. Whatever. Not the same case. Not with dramas like this. Not with dramas like this. No way. All right. That aside, let's move on here. Yeah, Tom Hanks. Yeah, that was the big upset for me. I think I hit a new, like, without screeching, that was a new high note for me. With my voice, literally. I think I was just, like, screaming, why, or something like that when I first read these this morning. I could not watch the nominations live this morning, by the way. I had a conflict, and then as soon as that conflict was over, boom, I went to the computer, I looked them up, and I screamed nearly bloody murder when Tom Hanks was not on the list. That being said, yeah, the 5 nominees make sense. American Hustle has 4 acting nominations, 1 in each category. And I believe it's first time in Academy Awards history that's happened twice in a row. 2 years in a row, I should say. And it's the first time in Oscar history where a director has done it consecutively. And it's, I believe, and I'd have to look back on this, the first time a director, period, has done it more than once on individual films. So, that being said, American Hustle was a great ensemble acting piece. And Christian Bale, Amy Adams, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence did give 4 miraculously great performances. But this award for Best Actor is going to come down to 3 people, and that's Bruce Dern, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Matthew McConaughey. Between those 3, the sentimental favorite by a landslide is Bruce Dern. It's Bruce Dern, no doubt. Personally, Nebraska was highest on my top 10 list in every category that it was nominated for. Let's just say, in general, for films nominated for the Academy Award, it was the highest on my top 10 list. It was not number 1, it was number 2, in fact, on my top 10 list. So yeah. So personally, a part of me is always going to root for Nebraska no matter what category it's in. That being said, Dern has really lost some steam here in the last few weeks. Not winning at Globes really hurt. Critics' Choice kind of hurt. If he doesn't win SAG, he's not going to win the Oscar. Chiwetel Ejiofor and Matthew McConaughey are the 2 this comes down to. Now, I said earlier that Her has been gaining steam now with Critics' Choice and SAG and Golden Globe wins. And I say it's not going to win Best Original Screenplay. I'm going to say the opposite here for Best Actor. Matthew McConaughey has won the Golden Globe and Critics' Choice over Ejiofor. I think that steam is going to stick with us. And I think McConaughey is going to win. There's one catch. If Ejiofor wins the SAG and the BAFTA, that's going to be our giveaway that Ejiofor is going to go on to win the Oscar. If Ejiofor wins the BAFTA, but not the SAG, and the SAG goes to McConaughey, McConaughey is going to win the Oscar. That's as simple as it gets. Ejiofor can't mess up anymore. If he messes up one more time, in other words, not personally, but if, in other words, if he misses out on either the BAFTA or the what am I thinking? The SAG award, which, by the way, McConaughey was not nominated for the BAFTA award, which kind of hurts. But that film didn't go over very well with the British awards. Yeah, Ejiofor, I think, clearly is going to win over there, unless they go with Bruce Dern, which would be nice, and it would be a nice push for Dern at the end of the finish line. But it's going to be too little, too late, I'm afraid, unless Dern can win the SAG. So we've got some weird mathematics here. Let's simplify it a little bit. So Bruce Dern, in order to win the Oscar, is going to have to win both the SAG and the BAFTA. Kind of a tough feat at this point. Ejiofor, in order for him to win, he is going to have to win the SAG and the BAFTA award. McConaughey, in order for him to win, he's got it easiest. He's only got to win the SAG award. But that's only because he's not nominated for the BAFTA. So if McConaughey wins the SAG, we know who's winning the Oscar. If he doesn't, then all hell's going to break loose. And then we're especially in for a cluster if Dern wins either the BAFTA or the SAG, but not both, and Ejiofor wins the other. Then we're in. Then it could go any old way, and they could say, "Stop this pissing contest between all three. Let's go with DiCaprio." Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? It'd be like, okay, these three heavily favored contenders, all in more dramatic films. Let's go with the comedy guy. I don't think there's few times the Academy's done that before, so I won't totally discount Bale and DiCaprio, but it's going to come down to those three. And from the way things are shaping up now, McConaughey is the winner. But it's going to be close. Alright, before this video drags on for way too long, let's get to Best Director here. Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity, Steve McQueen, 12 Years a Slave, Alexander Payne, Nebraska, David O. Russell, American Hustle. I like that. I like that. Everybody who says it now, they rhyme, and now they catch it and they laugh. And Martin Scorsese, The Wolf of Wall Street. I got 4 of these 5. I did not quite think they would push for Scorsese for Wolf of Wall Street because of all the stupid, unnecessary controversies going around it. I'm glad that Payne is in, and I'm glad that I went with Payne getting in. Paul Greengrass was my other pick for Best Director, and no doubt he came close. When your film gets 6 nominations and 2 major, at least considered widely, major snubs, but I don't think for him, in my personal taste, Hanks is a snub, Greengrass is an omission. It's too bad, because Greengrass did excellently direct Captain Phillips. He truly did. That being said, I do think, and this is the first time this has happened, in my top 5 films this year, 4 of the film's directors, of the 5 films, 4 of the directors are here. In other words, this is the best category ever. This year, this is the best category ever that most comes in tune with my personal preference. So, that being said, Gravity, Alfonso Cuarón will win this one. That being said, I would love to see any of the others win, unfortunately. But in all respect, in all fairness, I think if Cuarón wins, it's no surprise, and it is expected. You look at the visual effects in Gravity. You look at all the stuff that he has to throw together into this to make this whole thing work. Because one of those things, one of those brake lines doesn't go off, you've got a car crash. In other words, you've got a film that just won't hold up. Cuarón took a long time to get this film together. The same way that Ben Zeitlin had a lot of years working on Beasts of the Southern Wild last year, and he got nominated. And since Gravity is played better with overall with the Academy, he's going to win this one. But that being said, you have to watch out for David O. Russell and Steve McQueen. Scorsese, unfortunately, is not going to win this one, and Payne, unfortunately, is not going to win this one. But I do have to say, though, 5 excellent directors who were at the top of their game this year. And this was, anyways, a really, really stacked category, too, Best Director. Because then you've got also the Coen brothers. You've also got, who am I missing here? You've got the guy who directed Dallas Buyers Club. Correct me if I'm wrong, that was Jean-Marc Vallée. You've got Woody Allen for Blue Jasmine. You've got Stephen Frears for Philomena. To throw in there, you've got, I mentioned him. Looking at the screenplays and so on and so forth. Yeah, there were quite a few other directors. The guy who directed Save Mr. Banks, John Lee Hancock. All sorts of directors that could fit into the list. They didn't. So these 5, I'm very happy with these 5. I'll tell you that. All right, looking at Best Picture, here we go. 9 nominees: 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity, Her, Nebraska, Philomena, and The Wolf of Wall Street. I predicted 8 of these 9. I am awesome. I did not think Dallas Buyers Club was going to get in. I thought the Academy would prefer Saving Mr. Banks over Dallas Buyers Club, but that's only because Saving Mr. Banks is about Hollywood. It's about making movies. So, you know, I thought in the end, sure, yeah, but nope. Nope, the Academy hates it. So they went with Dallas Buyers Club, which respectfully was a better film. And respectfully we knew was going to earn at least a couple nominations. Let's just say this is a great list. 4 of these films nominated for Best Picture, which are also nominated for Best Director, are in my top 5 films of the year. It doesn't get much better than that. Additionally, let's see if I count these right, 2 more of the nominees here, so a total of 6 are in my top 10 list. That is awesome. That is awesome. And like I said, 2 of them, one of them is like literally number 11, and the other 2 are in the top 15. So yeah, we're sitting pretty high in the saddle here. Yeah, this one's going to come down to 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, and Gravity. All depending on if this pattern keeps up, which the pattern is, we're going to have 2 splits in a row. Last year we split director and picture. Director went to Ang Lee for Life of Pi. Picture went to Argo, respectfully. This year I think respectfully they're going to have to go with Gravity winning for Best Director and 12 Years a Slave winning for Best Picture, respectfully. Unless they love American Hustle so much that David O. Russell wins Best Director, and then he and the producers of American Hustle win for Best Picture. Which I just have to say it. We know Nebraska, number 2 on my list of top 10 films of the year, is not going to win. So if American Hustle wins, it'll be the best case scenario. Since my number 1 film was not nominated in anything, and my number 2 film, while nominated in, if I remember right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories, is not going to win any of them, save potentially 1, and even then it's at a long shot right now. So, American Hustle is probably the one I'm going to be rooting for the hardest. I'm going to love it if Philomena wins anything, Best Actress or Best Score. I don't think it's going to go all the way to Best Picture, no way. If it wins for Adapted Screenplay, I'll be happy, very much so. Though 12 Years a Slave, I think it's almost unquestionably like unmovable. But yeah, the score I think is the only thing that, with any confidence, I can say Philomena coming back and winning. That would make sense. I mean, Blue Jasmine, Cate Blanchett. I mean, come on. Talk about a lock. 12 Years a Slave, I'll be cheering for right now for getting in and winning Best Picture over Gravity, because if Gravity wins Best Picture, I'm going to boycott the Academy, I'm going to call them all losers, and I'm going to hang them by the neck until they're dead. I'm just going to leave it at that. All 5 freaking thousand members of the Academy, let's just say, let's start over. It's time to start over, folks. Yeah, let's put it that way. Because I literally cannot think of the 9 nominees. I can understand them giving it to Her before Gravity. Well, okay, let me take that back. Well, okay, I'm going to agree with that. Yeah, I can understand them giving it to Her before I understand them giving it to Gravity. I can understand them, despite the controversy, giving it to Wolf of Wall Street before they give it to Gravity. I can understand them giving it to Philomena before they give it to Gravity. I can understand them giving it to Dallas Buyers Club before they give it to Gravity. I can understand them giving it to Captain Phillips before giving it to Gravity. I can totally buy them giving it to Nebraska, American Hustle, or 12 Years a Slave over Gravity. So, in other words, the film that shares the ties for most nominations of the year I am secretly, deep, deep, deep down in my heart, hoping it will lose every category it's nominated for. That being said, I have to say that deep, 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 deep down in my heart thing, it's not going to matter much. Because Gravity is going to win stuff, and it's going to be the clear choice for why. And and asking why is not going to be acceptable, and it's going to be the clear choices, and it's going to be yeah. And there are just sometimes when you just got to say screw it. Yeah, it was the best year. It was the best film of the year in that regard. For me, the best film in general of the year. No, don't even no. For best film to feature great visual effects of the year. That I can understand and respectfully, very respectfully, wholeheartedly, in fact, agree with. For the best, what did I say here? For the best cinematography, I can wholeheartedly, 100% agree it winning best cinematography. Though Roger Deakins nominated again for his 11th time for Prisoners would be a great win, but it's not going to happen. Wholeheartedly, I can say, best sound mixing, best sound editing, going to Gravity makes sense and is a very great, respectful choice. Can't say the same for original score. I cannot say the same for film editing. I cannot say the same for production design. I cannot say the same for leading actress, freaking leading god dang actress. I can say that I can totally, respectfully agree with it winning best director. And I am going to be pissed off as all hell if it wins Best Picture. So, I think that wraps it up before I get too angry here. Overall, yeah, American Hustle and just lost it, Gravity. 10 nominations, tie for most. 12 Years a Slave follows very closely with 9. And then we've got, 6 nominations going out to Dallas Buyers Club, Captain Phillips, and was there one more that received 6 nominations? Nebraska, that's right. Then we've got Wolf of Wall Street with 5. I think Her got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 there. Blue Jasmine only got 3. Looking through the rest here, Philomena I think got 4. That's right. Yes. And we've named off all that. Yeah. So yeah. Overall, a lot of compared to last year. Not there. I don't think there's going to be quite as much sharing of the wealth that last year. Last year, the most wins was 3, and I think or 4. Sorry. And 4 wins being your most is a year where you spread it thin. You spread it pretty thin. And it was one of those years where the 6 top categories went to a different film. I think there's been a couple of years where that's happened in addition. But that being said, last year, Les Mis won 1 award. Django Unchained won 1 award in the top categories, we're saying. And then, oh God, Silver Linings Playbook won 1. Lincoln won 1, Life of Pi won 1, Argo won 1. So there you go. This year, I think we're going to get a totally different case. I think if, especially, I think it's going to be a different case. Especially if what I said about Dallas Buyers Club getting 2 wins for the acting categories. Yes, that's definitely the case. But yeah, if Lupita wins for 12 Years a Slave, then we know that 12 Years a Slave is going to win Best Picture. Or at the very least be a major threat for Best Picture. So, yeah, the only way I can see them doing this, really, truthfully, is if they give Nebraska supporting actress for June Squibb. They give Jared Leto supporting actor for Dallas Buyers Club. Best actress goes to Cate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine. Best actor goes to The Wolf of Wall Street for Leonardo DiCaprio. Best director goes to Gravity, and Best Picture goes to 12 Years a Slave. But that is not going to happen. Not going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, so unless... Or you could fill in June Squibb with Jennifer Lawrence from American Hustle as well. You could fill in. You can fill in. It would be Philomena, Judi Dench, or you could fill in Meryl Streep for actress. You can fit in Barkhad Abdi for supporting actor. You can fill in. Looks like that'd be it. Yeah, that'd be it. Unless any of the other any of the other nominees, which would be potentially her, and that's it. So yeah, not going to be sharing the wealth as much this year. So I think this video's gone on long enough. Weinstein, you devil. I don't know. I'll just close with that. Whatever. And that was yep, my initial reactions to Academy Award nominations 2014, the 86th annual Oscars.